Hey, what's going on, everyone? You are now listening to Resilience in Action with Erin Brown. Computer. What's going on, everyone? This is Resilience in Action with Erin Brown, and I am here with the amazing Allysa Robinson. So first of all, thank you for being with us today. I appreciate you accepting the offer.
Thank you for, contacting me. I'm excited to be here. So
Of course. Now, we grew up together relatively.
Yes.
Me and your brother Brendan were in the same class all the way until he didn't graduate from Winslow, did he?
No, we both went to Paul 6 in Haddonfield.
That's
so we
right.
went to Winslow up to 8th grade.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, we since Shirley B. Foster, wow. I remember coming over to your house and like playing and all. So it's really good to see you and catch up and have this time to chat for a little while.
Yes, I'm excited.
So I'm not gonna, butcher your bio, but go ahead and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Allysa. I'm from Chislehurst. I have my own hair salon called Amazingly Hair Studio, and I also run my own catering business called Amazingly Eats by Lease. Both my businesses been running since the pandemic, actually. I started my salon May of 2020, and I started my catering business, what is it? Probably October of 2020, but it just started to really blossom early last year. So my hands are full. It's been a long journey because, in 2010, we went through a really rough time with everything. And then people telling me how crazy I was, to start a business during that time. But I said, why not? We're home. Unemployment wasn't answering the phone for me. Like they was answering the phone for other people. So I'm like, I got to make this money. And I've been a hairdresser like 15 years now.
15. Okay.
Yes. I started doing hair actually a little before high school, but I got my license when I was 19, and I'm 32 now. Well, I say my age out there, but it's been a passion of mine I have for a long time. So having my own salon is a beautiful thing. It's a long time coming, and throughout the years, I was on and off with my passion for it by being burnt out working in different salons, where I'm just like, one day I got to have my own. And then, before even the pandemic actually hit, I was saving up to have my own. And that just pushed me over to be like, you know what, just do it. If you fail, you fail, but you have to do it. And cooking is something that I've been doing for years. But it became a big thing during the pandemic because I was selling my platters. Nowhere was open for nobody to eat. They were like, wait a minute, you can cook, so it was crazy to me that when I put it out there that I was selling food, how many people contacted me and really wanted my food, but you just never know who's watching you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm like, I was really blessed during the pandemic, while I know other people struggled a lot. And, cooking has been now I have a full service catering business. And no one really probably knows, but my mother had a catering business when I was in high school, and I helped her with that. And I saw how hard it was on her, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I realized she just had the wrong team. So I'm like, because it is hard work, but it's fun and it's rewarding if you have the right people behind you. And I have a full-blown staff with my salon, and I'm working on a bigger staff for my catering. So it's definitely a lot, but I get up every day and I love working for myself and doing something that I love to do. It doesn't feel like work, but I had to pay my dues to get here. So I'm just blessed. So I really appreciate, you wanting to know more about everything. I'm open book. So let's
Absolutely. So, okay, you've been doing hair for over 15 years, cooking for a long time.
Yes.
what, I mean, aside from like, when did you know that you wanted to do hair and have your own business? Because, you know, it's easy to find something that you're good at and like buy, like rent out a chair in a sense in somebody else's salon.
Right.
When did you realize that you was like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do it for me?
Let's see. I mean, when you work for other people that don't have the same, I guess, mindset or doesn't carry themselves the way that you do, you start looking at things like, it became a thing when I was in a salon, you know, and just women naturally catty and, you know, drama, where that's just not me. I come into work, I come with a positive attitude, and I want to get my job done, and I want to make money. And I'm very goal driven. So going into atmospheres where people are just bringing you down, I'm like, I can't do this. And I always told myself, one day when I have that courage to have my own salon, that I won't run it like the standard salon runs their stuff. Like my staff has free range to do pretty much anything they want to do. All I ask for is open communication and be on time. Okay, everyone knows, even on time management, I don't play with time management. That's the only time you're going to see me, you know, get a little upset. But if you communicate, I'm going to be late, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then there's no problem. But I told myself, I really just want, this can't be what a salon is. You know, I was very young. I was 20 when I worked in my first salon. I think I was 26 the last time I worked in a salon. And I actually it was so bad that I lost my passion for even being in the setting anymore, that I completely left hair, went and became an HR specialist. And I did that for years. And I was saving my money up. I'll tell all the ladies that I work with, I said, this is not going to be me forever. This is just a stepping stone for what I want to really be. Because they didn't understand it. They're like, wait a minute, you know, you work here, but you say you're a chef, you say you're a hairstylist, but this is not the career for it. And I said, well, I have a huge customer service background. My mom had me working with her when I was 14 at, you know, those telemarketing places and stuff for years, where I'm like, I know how to work the phones, I know computers, I know it. It's just, I don't see myself behind a desk. This is not what I want to do, but since I know how to do it, and my passion is going with the hair, I'm gonna do my plan B until I get to my plan A. And it took me, you know, almost 5 years, you know, to get there, because I was scared. You're used to a paycheck, a certain paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, and you know how to pay your bills, versus being an entrepreneur. You know, you make good money this one week and make $100 the next week. You just never know what your weeks are going to be like. So I just told myself, I have to leave this negative setting and do something else until I can bring myself back, because I always had a passion to make a woman feel even more beautiful. And you know, and to just bring women together in an environment where they can be creative. And there is no, like in my shop, I always say there's no competition here. What she don't know, she gonna learn, and vice versa. We are all here to learn. I've been in the game longer than a lot of my stylists, and they show me stuff all the time. You know, I'm like, wow, you know, you can learn something new every day. So I really enjoy the atmosphere. And it was just the perfect time for me to just make that transition, because had I just left a salon with the kind of bad energy I was getting and the lack of passion I had, my salon would have crashed and burned with a short period of time. So I really am grateful for the position that I am in, that I like to help young girls too. A lot of my staff are younger women that, because some going to be inexperienced, some aren't, but I'm not afraid to bring an inexperienced person in here with me, because I like to teach. I wish I had a mentor. I try to be a mentor to everyone, and anything someone tells me they love to do, I try to bring that out of them to go ahead and, do it. If you fail at it, it's okay. There's so many, just get back up, finish it, or try another route that works for you. But it's okay to fail. I failed so many times with this that I thought I wouldn't be here, but absolutely, it's working out.
Absolutely. Good. Failure is a trampoline. I feel like
Yes.
like you just bounce and it don't work, and you just keep bouncing, then something sticks,
Yep.
And okay, so now you say you started your salon. Shout out to the contractor. Low key. Like, okay, I was like,
He did a great job.
I was like, yo, it's such a small world. So
it really is.
Yeah,
you just never know who, because
he did a fantastic job in your salon.
I still can't believe, the transformation of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was a dark space, man. Now it's a beautiful, bright space, and I get so many compliments all the time. So that definitely shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely. Did you started your salon like in COVID era? Did it affect your business at all?
Now I wish I would have made a documentary at the time, because when I tell you, it was hard getting supplies and getting people to want to work during that time frame, because everybody's afraid of this, afraid of that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as business wise, no. I was actually, I opened my shop a little before I was supposed to, but I opened my shop in May of 2020, and I was overwhelmed. Like,
yeah.
like everybody was like, "What? You're open? I need my hair done." And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's and it was just, I was a one person band at the time. Now I had 5 staff under me, so I'm like, whew, so happy to have that, because I had a nice following beforehand. Well, a steady following actually, where
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, I probably had about 30 solid people where I'm like, I'm comfortable doing their hair, and I'll probably build up some more. But it like quadrupled. It's so fast where I'm like, I can't do all this by myself. It was a blessing. It really was a blessing, because I didn't work in a salon for, at that time, it's been 4 years for me since I've been in a salon. So to still have people like come to me in my living room or something like that at the time, where I'm like, listen, y'all, I'm not doing hair in the shop, but you can come here and get it done, and they still will show you love. But then there's some people that's like, well, I'm not going to nobody's living room getting my hair done and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine too, where, you're at a certain age, you want a certain luxury. And I told myself, that's what I want to give the women. I remember it was January 2020, and I was doing somebody's hair in my living room, and I did a really bomb like hair color on them. And I charged them like next to nothing, because I felt like I couldn't charge my worth, because I'm washing your hair in a kitchen sink and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and at that moment I did her hair and it turned gorgeous. And I was like, I'm never going to wash hair again in my sink. And she's like, what'd I do to you? I'm just like, no, you didn't do nothing to me. I just said, I really did a great job. And I realized this is what I want to do. Like, I'm a colorist, I'm a natural hair specialist. And I'm like, I need an atmosphere. I need to have my ladies be luxury. And I said, and that was January 2020. And by May 2020, my salon was built. I put a luxury experience for my ladies, so I can charge my worth. I can feel happy, because when I'm unhappy, I lose focus with everything. I'm like, this can't be life. I do not want to be doing hair in my living room and washing hair in my sink no more. I had to stop being afraid.
Yeah.
And that was really the best thing I've done, because, business, I have over almost at 300 clients.
Wow.
And that's just me. I have other staff. So, it's really a blessing that, like, wow, I did not, I was at 30. I'm sitting here like, I might get to like 60. But to see the amount of people come to me was a blessing. But it was great in the beginning. It had a slow point where I was a little afraid, because, other salons or the world start opening again.
Yeah.
And the competition is out there. But, I stayed humble, and I just perfected my craft more. And then more blessings start coming my way. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody called me crazy. They say you are crazy to spend you're not working, you're not getting unemployment. and now you want to open up a salon and you have 2 kids, you have a house. Everyone called me crazy for doing it. And I said, well, listen, I'll be crazy trying because right now I have major bills and I have talent and someone's going to see my talent and I want to make some type of money versus nothing right now.
Yeah.
And that was the best thing I've ever done. You know, food was a whole nother thing that I didn't plan on. It just came out.
I was about to say I was about to segue. Or we weren't talking about hair. Let's talk about food because I love to eat. And the next time I'm in Jersey, I'm definitely gonna hit you up, whether it's just for like a little platter or I don't know how you do it, but I'm paying too. So
listen, I make it all. Like whatever you need, I really would like to give you some food.
So I was on on your Instagram, and I
Okay.
saw how now shrimp is my jam.
Oh, seafood's my everything. So I got you.
Listen, the way you was like, you don't want to cook it, you want to steam it, and you want. I was like, yo, I gotta have this. I gotta have it.
Oh, so you was on the page looking at people get hungry looking at the food page.
Listen, I was like, what lobster? She got the. Oh my gosh,
That's what I love to make seafood.
So you were self-taught. Like, is this just you like in the kitchen, just trying different things?
Yeah. So I mean, my oldest brother is actually a chef that no one I feel like none of my friends really know that he's a chef because he's been doing that for like 25 years.
Gotcha.
So, my mother, she was a wonderful cook. And she's had me in the kitchen with her since 6, 7 years old, maybe. But rest in peace to my mom. But definitely I would tell her if I could, like, Mom, you taught me some things, but I don't know, my lobster and stuff a little bit is at your level, maybe a little bit higher than your level at this point, because I definitely do be in the kitchen and I'm just trying different things because I do have a large audience that has many different tastes. The hardest part, I guess, from being a self-taught cook and just cooking for, close families and friends is, pleasing others that you don't know. I love spicy food. So I had to be like, everybody don't like spicy food, Allysas. Yeah. You gotta cook on that regular, like a restaurant level where it took a lot of trial and error. And then, and then also cooking large quantities of food. If you're used to just making something for your family and now you gotta make something for 50 people, you gotta know how to season it. So I definitely probably spent all of 2020 figuring that out.
Yeah.
And now, now it's funny because I struggle cooking for just my family because I'm so used to cooking large amounts now. So I'm like, man, but I enjoy them both. People ask me all the time, like, well, how do you be in the salon and then how do you be in cooking stuff? Like, my whole life is on a calendar. It's a strict calendar that I got 2 boys, 5 and 8. And I have to find time with them and their sports and work and stuff. So, I make it work. And sometimes people ask me that I really can't answer it because it's just something I grew up on when I was around motivation. I was around my mom. So she took care of 6 people and herself growing up. So it's like, shoot, she can do that. I could take care of my boys and figure out business, and make it work. But it is hard at times, but I can say that I truly at a space in my life where this is what was for me, to work for myself, to make my own schedule and to be a mother and teach my boys stuff. So, I'm really happy at this point. It took a long time to get here where I didn't see this 5 years ago for me. So I try to be a testimony to somebody where, shoot, 3 years ago, I was in a dead end job. So, life changes overnight. That's what happened to me.
Yeah. It was your consistent effort. That's what that was. Your consistent effort over and over and over again. Waking up knowing that where you were is not where you're going to stay. You had to be there and sit in that moment to learn the lessons that you needed to learn, to grow where you needed to grow. And now you're thriving, doing exactly what it is that you want to do.
Thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate your words, because it definitely takes a moment when you have to, you know, come out of a certain space that you're in. Because I lost my mother 2017, and I was in a really dark space for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Where no one really knew it, because of just how I carry myself, where I'll cry in silence, and by myself. Like, no one sees real emotion from me, because that's how my mother really was. She just was somebody that carried the weight on her shoulders and got things done. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes it's bad, because you really just need to release that. So I was in a dark space, and then the pandemic hit. You're like, man, I was still in that dark space still, and I didn't know what I was going to do with losing my job and stuff. So it's just like a different. You just have to lock in, I guess, with you. And I'm thankful, so grateful for my children, because I can't give up, because these little people need you. So it's like, you know what, girl, no pity parties. This is what life is throwing at you right now, but this is not what life is going to be. You're too talented to let life just bring you down. And so I just took that strength that I have, the strength that I grew up on, just watching everyone around me, be motivating and strong people, that I'm like, I know that's in me too. So just stop being afraid. I think it was more so I was afraid of running in my own business, because I was afraid of failing it. Because people will talk more about your failures than your wins. All the time. And I'm like, why do I care about that? Let me stop caring about what someone's thoughts are. Just do it. And that's what I did. And I swear, and all the people that told me, listen, this is a dumb moment for you. You're wasting your money. You don't, they don't say none of that now. They try to book appointments. So
they're trying to get on the books.
Yes, that's it. BasicallyHairStudio.com, y'all. Don't call me. Book online.
Book online. Say less. Oh man. So hey, y'all. Listen, it is time for some action. If you are enjoying the content that you've been listening to, I need you to rate and review. That's it. That's all. Make sure you go to wherever you're listening to this podcast and rate and review it for us. We appreciate you so much. Let's get back to some resilience. Okay, so 2017 was a rough year. And you had to navigate, and you're probably still navigating it now. How did you push through? Like, what systems or strategies or maybe stories or anything that you use to help you navigate through that really, really difficult time in your life?
Sometimes I block a lot of things out, where I don't talk about my mother that often.
Yeah.
But when I had to get asked questions, it brings me back to a certain space where me and my mother, we were extremely close, and she's been sick for quite some time. Let's see, she got sick really, like, first started having health issues 2008. And they just worsened, like, really, like, she diagnosed with cancer 2015, and then she died from that 2017. But it was my mom. She was somebody that her spirit, like, I love when people do come up to me and speak about my mother with such grace and just excitement because of what she's done for them, who she was. Where as a kid, you don't pay that no mind what things your parent does. It's like, that's just my mom, but it's like, it's wonderful to hear those stories. So with her, I felt like my mother always prepared me for things that I didn't even realize she was doing. If anyone knew my mom, she was a talker. She loved to talk, and she loved to repeat, where it will drive you up a wall where you're like, man, she told me that same thing 5 different ways. But those same things she taught me 5 different ways was embedded in me, where she would think I wasn't listening to her. But when she passed and stuff, things that, I thought I wouldn't be able to figure out or do, I was able to figure out and do because my mother's been teaching me things all along in her absence. And she was somebody who wasn't afraid of death, always said, we all gotta leave this earth one day. And she always said, her favorite line was, mother has lived. She always said that. And she, no matter how sick she was, my mother was young, she was 62 when she died.
Yeah.
But she still would tell anybody, I lived a great life. Like, even in her hospital bed, she said, I lived. So if this is my time to go. So, I mean, it doesn't make it easier, but it makes it where my mom was happy with how her life was, regardless of what state she was in today. She was happy to see her kids, her grandkids, and be something and listen to different values she instilled in us. So losing her, I did lose a big part of me, but I didn't lose like let's see how I can word this. I lost a part of me, but I gained so much more of me, where a different animal, different side of me, where the strength came out of me, where your mother was your backbone and she's gone, but she built you to be just like her.
Yeah.
And she was a strong woman. My dad was incarcerated in 2001, I believe.
Okay.
2001. I was 11. And she was forced to take care of, 2 young children, and I have an older brother, but I was 11. My other brother was 13 at the time, and my dad was the breadwinner. And my mother, she didn't miss a beat. My mom had a $10 an hour job at the time. And my dad was the one, my mom always been a homemaker at the time. So to have my dad unexpectedly leave us, and she had to figure things out. I watched her literally figure things out. We never went without food. The lights were never cut off. We went to one of the top schools in New Jersey. We always had new clothes. Like, she hustled. Like, seeing how I'm doing my catering business. I'm a bartender. I make specialty wines, and I have my hair salon. Like, that's my mother. My mother would be like, okay, this happened to me. Deal with it privately. But then when I come out behind this door, I'm gonna be a brand new me, and I'm gonna figure out my next steps. And that's kind of what I did, where I'm like, man, like, my mom is gone. I got my son was 1 at the time, and I had a 3-year-old, and I lived with my mom when I took care of her. So I went from paying no rent to thousands of dollars overnight.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I had a little $14 an hour job at that time, where I'm sitting here like, how am I going to do this? So it was something where I just had to step back and deal with it, because family leaves you, friends leave you at that time. And you really get to see, wow, like, you're on this earth for just you. No one's here to take care of you. Your backbone is gone. So, I definitely, this will say my mom, she was just a wonderful, different kind of woman who I got to be with to the end. And even to the end, she was just a teacher, where failure is just, failure is a way of life, but but it's all about, hey, what you gonna do after you fail? And that's how it always was with my mom. She was the most encouraging person, and I was so hard on myself, where what I have right now, my mom always believed, you're gonna have your own hair salon, you're gonna do it. And I never thought I was good enough. I never did. Even when I wasn't good at doing hair, my mom would hype me up. Like, so I'm like, that was my hype man. I miss her so much, but it's like, you have to push through. And of course I sit and I think about it. My salon is all purple. My mom's favorite color was purple. I never liked purple. If she could walk in here today, she'll probably be like, what is this? This ain't you. I'm like, it's you. This you, because you are someone since high school that said you can have your own salon. You can do this. You don't need to be unhappy in honor of you, my salon is purple. I mean, I've grown to like it because I still look at it every day. But you know, it's I definitely say I just was happy that I had her as a mom because she made me not be afraid of death and different failures. And like she literally was set my life up to be prepared for stuff. So when she did pass, it was hard, but everything that she ever told me was right in that safe, like she said.
Yeah.
Right. She left me little notes that, like, you know, I find different pieces of my mom daily when I just, you know, clean out different things that I feel the courage to open and stuff. And I'm just like, wow, she leaves me little notes, little gifts. It's her presence is still so strong.
Yeah.
So that keeps me going, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, your mom was one of a kind. Your mom was, she was one of one. Definitely.
I hear that. I hear that often.
But you're one of one as well. But you're a lot of her. You're a lot of her.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you. Wow.
I love to see it. Like growing up, you know,
yes.
I always knew when your mom was coming to the school. I heard her before.
She had such a distinctive voice.
You heard Miss Robinson before you even saw her, and you're like, "Oh, it's about to be lit because
it's about to be lit." She had snacks. She had good jokes. She was,
yes.
You know, at the time as a kid, you just be embarrassed. Oh, here come my mom. She can never just come and drop something off and go. She got to entertain the class, you know. But the kids there, y'all, you know, y'all ate that up. Everybody loved coming to our house. It was like the neighborhood house. So it was like, you know, it makes me feel good because you just don't appreciate that until someone tells you this, how they, and different things. When I hear like people tell me, wow, your mother, she taught me how to, one person said, your mom, she taught me how to get a job, man. She taught me how to write a resume. My mom was great with words. Like that was her thing. Where I'm sitting here, like where it's actually my thing too now, where I love different stories and writing things. Like she was a writer. Like she taught me how to drive. I hear different stories from women telling me what my mom has taught them how to do. One person said she taught me how to be a better mother. And I'm just like, you don't know none of this. My mom never bragged or said what she did for somebody. You know, she just did it because she always said she was raised by her grandma. She said her grandma was a giver. So she said, I'm a naturally giver. And I see that in myself. I see so much of my mother in myself where I didn't when she was alive because she would just do everything. Well, now that her presence, you know, she is no longer here with us, like things that she instilled over the years that I watched her do, it just comes naturally to me to just do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, so, you know, I'm not perfect or nothing like that, but I definitely love when I feel like I can help somebody with something because I watch my mom help people, and just to see years later that they just don't forget those things that someone does for them. So I hope to be that person, you know?
Yeah. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have any advice for anyone who is looking to, you know, maybe start their own salon, maybe start their own catering company, anything like that?
I mean, listen, you're going to be scared, I guess, if this is your first time jumping out there. But don't be scared. You never know who's dying for you to branch out so they can support you and even invest in you. Because it's crazy how many people will, you know, when they believe in you, they'll just toss money your way to help you send business your way anyway. You know, so it's like, to an entrepreneur that's afraid, don't be afraid. You have to just do it. And you have to understand that you will lose before you win. And you have to be okay with it. You know, that's the hardest thing, where I feel like a lot of people just, they try something, they lose money, they don't want to try it again. And it's like, you're going to lose before you gain.
Yeah.
I had to toss a lot of money out there and tell myself, hey, I may keep the same clientele I'm having, or I may grow it, but I have to be okay either way because this is my dream. So it's scary It is very scary at times. But when you reach your peak and people see that you're being consistent with your work and you're constantly getting better and better because that's your passion, stick with it, because you too can be at small and grow. I grew so much in 6 months that, like I said, just a few years back, if you would have told me, hey, you have 300 clients today, I'd be like, there's no way that can happen for me. But it's all I did was say, you know what, this is my passion. It's been my passion. And I invested in myself. And then those will have no choice but to fall in line and see that you're not going nowhere. And they're going to want to go ahead and be a part of that. And you know what, let them, you know, business is going to grow. So I really always just I tell my young girls all the time, like, you may not know exactly what you want to do, but do something and be okay with what you're doing. You may fail at it, but if it's a passion for you, you're going to get back up and you're going to do it again, and you're going to continuously get better with your consistency. And that's all I did, was tell myself, you know what, you're a good hairstylist, you're a good cook, but if you took classes or watch YouTube, because YouTube teach people a lot of things. I'm like, y'all lucky, y'all. a lot of things. Friends, you know, whatever craft you have, you know, or hobby you have, just make it a lifestyle. And that's all I did. I cooked all the time. I did my friend's hair all the time. All I did was say, you know what, I can really make a living out of this because I like to do it. I get up every day and do what I love and like to do. And I make money off doing it. So people need to find those hobbies and bring out their passions and stick beside it, because that's all I did.
Love it. Love it. Where can we find you on like social media? How can we support you? If somebody wanted to book an appointment, where are they going to go?
Okay. So, I have a website. It is amazinglyhairstudio.com. I also have, you can find my hair page, styled_by_Lisa with a Y. And you're looking for catering, you can go to eats_by_Lise, LYS.
Okay.
On Instagram. And I also have Facebook pages of both the same name. So, you know, you can book me for hair. You can fill out a form online for your catering. I service all of the tri-state area, actually, you know, so, and I just booked my first celebrity event. So,
congratulations.
I just booked that 4 days ago. So I'm excited, nervous. I haven't really put it out there yet. So I'm just like, you know, how do they find little old me? But, but like I said earlier, you never know who's watching you.
You never know.
Because I'm sitting here like, I only been in the business like maybe a year and a half with my food. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, like a celebrity wants me to join his team and cook on a daily basis for his family. And it's like, wow, I didn't see that at all, especially not this soon in the game. But he said, hey, I love what you do. I watch what you do. I word of mouth. You did an event last week that I happened to be a part of, and I had your food and I loved it. I'm like, he could go get a 5-star chef anywhere.
Yeah.
But he found little old me from Chislehurst. So, you know, I'm like, wow, you don't know who's watching you. So just keep going. Just keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay. Well, I want to take this moment to thank you for spending some time and sharing a bit of your story, some systems and strategies that help you basically have a greater human experience, you know. Before you go, I have one question for you. Okay. What does resilience mean to you?
Let's see. Resilience means to me just, I guess, sticking to your truth and not being afraid to share it. We all go through things, and some of us are not proud of it, but it's our truth, and it's how we get through it. And your story can change somebody else. And just know that it may not be everyone else's story, or people may not agree with your story, but it's yours. And like I said, I'm not afraid to live in my truth and share my truth, because it can help somebody else get through whatever that they're going through, or motivate somebody in their life. So I definitely just love your show, love what you do, love how you bring different emotions out of people. So please, this, like I said, this is new to me. This is really very new to me. I don't speak too much about my truth, but I'm not afraid to.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank you for giving everybody that platform to be comfortable.
Absolutely, absolutely. My way of getting through this world to have a greater human experience is having a platform to allow others to shine. So,
absolutely,
I definitely appreciate you. I know my listeners appreciate you sharing your story, and it was so great to talk to you.
It really was. We got to keep in touch now.
Absolutely.
Right? We grew up in the same place. We got to keep in touch.
Absolutely. You already know. You already know.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Of course, of course. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Resilience in Action with Erin Brown. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe. And I want you to remember one thing: resilience in action will always lead to a greater human experience.